Growth podcast. Our goal is to help you create happiness through growth. And the best way to do that is to kill every day and own your fucking life. I'm Bwanka, I'm your host. It's episode 41 and it's time to bring that hot fire. We're recording on a Monday and it's beautiful outside, so you already know the energy is going to be there. And today I'm joined by my co-host Sturr, aka Sturrific, aka Sturminator, aka Stir It Up. Sturr, you ready to get it popping?
You know it, man. I'm ready, man. Happy Monday. That intro just brought a lot of energy, so without further ado, man, let's jump right into it.
Okay, man.
I'm ready.
How's your day going so far? It's Monday. It's the best day of the week.
Yep. And I adopted the number one rule: never miss a Monday. Shout out to Carlito for putting us on, putting everyone on. That's how I started my Monday. It got the blood pumping. It got the energy up.
You got that Monday workout in?
Got that Monday workout in, so I'm ready to go.
Okay.
How you feeling? How's your Monday?
I'm doing incredible, I love Monday. Sunday night, I saw the sun was setting. I was looking at the sunset. I'm like, man, tomorrow's Monday, man. I just started rubbing my hands together. I'm like, all right, we're going to be cooking tomorrow.
Time for a fire week.
Yeah, we're going to be cooking tomorrow.
Let's get it. So what are we talking about today, man?
And today is all about having an open mindset and just being open to things that you don't normally experience. So let me ask you a question, okay? Sure. So tell us a little bit about basically just the fundamentals of learning.
Okay, yeah. So I want to bring it back to the basics, and I'll share a little story, and hopefully it'll relate to everybody in regards to having an open mindset. So if you listen to episode 16, you heard me talk about my journey and me being in Rwanda and living there and stuff. A lot of people don't know, well, you know, obviously, but I also lived in Rwanda prior to that, back in 97 to 2000. So I was around 7 or 8 years old when I got there. And this was like the perfect example of jumping into a situation where I had to have an open mindset, but it was done indirectly. I didn't even know, because at the time my mom told us that me and my two sisters that we were going for 3 months.
Yeah.
Ended up being 3 years.
Shit.
So we were kind of tricked into it, but till this day, it's one of the best experiences I ever had. Anyways, getting back to my point is, I had to go into that situation as a 7, 8 year old, not really knowing, what the outcome is going to be. And so indirectly, I had an open mindset because I was dealing with different things and different language, different people. So one thing that happened when I got there is I struggled a lot with school because of the language.
Yeah.
There was a huge language barrier. So I had two options: continue to suffer, which I actually did for the first little while, and it was horrible. I'd go home crying because I was the worst in class. I couldn't speak the language. Kids would make fun of me, whatever the case was. Or I can try to learn the language because I was doing fine in every other subject. I could try to learn the language and embrace that change, embrace that challenge, and then get better and hopefully wouldn't have to struggle and suffer. So I was able to do that with the help of my grandma. She taught me how to learn the language. But my point being is, the fundamentals of having an open mindset is just learning. And it starts from when you're a kid, when you learn how to walk, when you learn how to talk. In my case, I had to learn a different language. It's just, if you can understand that in order to have that open mindset, you're going to have to learn. Literally, you're going to have to learn. It goes back to just learning. Think about when you have to learn anything. Then you'll get one step closer to breaking out of the closed mindset.
Yes. And
then the open mindset, as we're going to talk about more and more, is full of opportunities and full of growth. So that's how I kind of look at it. And there are times in my life where maybe I've gone back to the closed mindset because we get comfortable. If I remember back in 97, probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been, especially as a child or a youth. And so it helped me break out of that real quick. So sometimes when I get back to that and I'm like, man, life seems a little bit too comfortable right now, or I'm complaining too much and I'm not getting any success or having any improvements. Then I kind of go back to that space and that time in my life where things were challenging, they were hard. What happened? I was able to break through because of, opening my mind.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it all comes down to you don't know what you don't know. And there's so many things out there that we'll say no to because we don't know about them, or because just we have this preconceived notion in our head saying I don't think that's as good as it looks, or I don't think that's as good as it sounds, or you just always have these reasons that make you say no to different experiences, like travel. So I never really traveled like when I was younger, and I remember when I started getting some more money, me and like some friends, we were looking into like a vacation, like a trip, and we were looking, and I remember someone saw the price, and the person was like, yo, that's like the same price as my tuition. And I was like, damn, like why would I spend that much money on a trip that's 5 or 7 days when I could use that money towards something that like I can do often? You know what I mean? I didn't understand like paying for the experience that you get from traveling.
Exactly.
So anyways, I ended up traveling, going on my first ever trip, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like I could have never like ever thought that it would be as incredible as it actually was. Like I went to a beach, like an incredible beach with nice ass sand that I'd only seen on commercials before. Right. And I was chilling there like every single day. Yeah. I saw water that like I'd only seen on commercials before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I'm eating food. Like I didn't have to worry about cooking any food, like it was nice, and I would have never experienced that if I had to just stay with that closed mindset and said, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about travel, and I love travel for that reason too, and just so happened that I ended up traveling quite a bit as I was as a child. So, but just the experience gives you so much. It gives you feeling, it gives you emotion, and it gives you that physical, like you said, you were at the beach. So it gives you that whole package, that whole combination of emotion, feeling, thoughts, and then, you know, the real physical of being there. And that's what I think is huge to having an open mindset. Because without that, like, remember when, I don't know if you remember this, but going to school, like, especially when I went to university, there were so many kids that I met that had never left their home cities. And this was their first time in another city. And just looking at them, you could tell they were like, they could see someone like maybe me and some of the friends that I had that had been, that were from different countries or whatever. And you could see that they were like, you guys are really comfortable. It seems like you've been here or done this before. And it's like, no, it's just, we've been like lucky enough, although some of us came here for different reasons, whether it was refugees, immigrants, whatever, we were at least able to experience that change in, you know, just, it was like, it could be culture shock, but for us, it was just a change in environment altogether.
And then when you even think about it, like, just going on just that first trip, it opens so many doors to you, because now you've gone and you've experienced it, and you've seen how good it was. And like that first trip that I ever went on, it was terrible. Like, yo, now that I look back on it, like a lot of the things were terrible, but yo, we had so much fun, and we thought like great things about it. But that was because of the first time traveling. But yo, it opened me up to so many different experiences, and I start going different places. And I remember like this summer I was in Europe, and I dove into some water somewhere. There's some kids diving in water. I started diving in too, and I started talking to these kids, and they were from Ireland. And at this time we were in Albania, and I'm like, yo, you guys are from Ireland, what are you doing in Albania? And they're like, yo, we're here teaching other kids about Irish culture. And I was like, man, you guys are lucky. You're like 17 years old and you guys are already traveling. You already have that travel bug. And they're like, well, how old are you? And I'm like, 31. And they're like, oh, you're 31, man. You've probably been all over the world. And I was like, that was the first time I actually like realized like, yo, I've been traveling, and I thought about all the places I've been, and I'm like, I'm so happy that I went on that first ever trip, and I got out of that closed mindset of thinking like, yo, it's not worth the money, and just having that open mindset. Now I'm always thinking like, okay, where can I go next?
Speaking of that closed mindset, so we distinguish it by calling it a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, which is basically closed and open mindset. Can you explain like a little bit the difference between both, like, and maybe when you had a fixed mindset and then when all of a sudden you transition into having a growth mindset, and how you've been able to maintain it? Because I mean, everyone goes through that, but I just want to hear kind of like...
Okay, so let me start with a fixed mindset. So when you have a fixed mindset, basically, you think you know everything and you're not really that open to learning. Right. And that's how I was in my younger days, and my life was like, I didn't enjoy my life anywhere near as much as I enjoy my life now. And that's just because I was doing the same thing over and over and getting the exact same result over and over. And I thought in my head, well, this is life. You know what I mean? This is my reality. I can't change my reality. And then when you think about like a growth mindset or an open mindset, now you get to the point where someone tells you something and you listen. You don't say like, you don't go straight to like, nah, you're wrong. You go to like, maybe you're right, or you're right, or you can even Google it and find out if the person is right.
But you give it a chance.
Yeah. You start being open to more things. You start realizing like that person is really strong because they worked out to get really strong. They're just not born being really strong.
Yeah.
That person is really smart because they put in the work to become really smart. They're not just born really smart. And you start getting into the places where it's like, sometimes I get asked to do something and my natural instinct is like, nah, I don't want to do that because in my head, I think I'm not going to enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
But then I take a double look and I'm like, man, like I have to have an open mindset. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'm never going to know the outcome unless I try.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what you just described to me. I wanted to touch on it too, is basically attachment and detachment. So when you have that fixed mindset, you're attached to a certain way of thinking, certain patterns, certain feelings, certain, you know what I mean? So, and when the importance, I think, of having an open mindset is when you can work on it and then finally detach yourself from those things, because they're limiting. I mean, each and every one of us as humans, we have different potentials that we can reach if we, stick to our plan, focus on it, and stay consistent. But they can be limited when you're attached to a way of thinking or way of living. And that's why having an open mindset, it is hard. It's hard to sustain, especially, but you explained it very well how you're able to do that. But I think people need to understand that it's something that is ongoing. It's not just, okay, I've decided now that I'm going to start swimming like I have, right? And then now that I swim, it's not like it's the only, like it is an accomplishment to me, and you push me all the time to just keep getting better at it. But now I've been able to relate that to other things in my life. That's the important part. That's the most important part of having an open mindset is yes, doing the things and getting out of your comfort zone is that's key, that's main. But when you can apply it to other parts of your life, different areas, that's, I think, when you see that the detachment is so important. We have to detach ourselves from. Another thing you mentioned too, I don't remember who it's from, but change your life, change your mindset. Change your mindset, change your life. That's basically what that is. We literally have to change the way we live our lives in order to change our lives. But it sounds like a cliche comment and you don't really take it quite literal, but it is. You have to change things, man. You have to just either wake up at different times, talk to different people, expose yourself to different things, and you will be different and you will act different. So
100%. Okay, so perfect example is a couple of weeks ago, me and Dee, we had like a get together. You were there. A bunch of people came over. Anyways, we did a bunch of things, and then I remember we got to a point where someone was like, "Yo, let's play a game."
Right.
Someone said, "Let's play a game," and we were all like, "Game? All right, what are we gonna play?" And one person was like, I got a game, but I don't know if you guys are going to like it. And he started telling us about the game. And he's like, basically, you just pick a song. And if people are rocking with it, they like it, then like everybody's like, all right, that's a good track.
Yeah, they like cheer you on or whatever. Yeah.
You get everyone hyped. And if not, you just boo the person off.
You don't want to get booed.
And in the beginning, I could, like, everybody was like, I don't know, man. I don't think that game's gonna be that good. I don't know. But then we got to the point where, like, all right, man, let's just be open to it and try it out.
Exactly.
And he put on the first one. Everyone was like, all right. And as we started to go, we started putting on different songs. People started bringing like throwbacks that we haven't heard in forever. Everybody was jamming out, getting hype, having fun. And we look back and we're like, man, we weren't even going to play this game. And it turned out to be so fun. But it all just happened because we had that open mindset. We were open to something that we hadn't tried before.
Yeah, and I think one thing about that I know discourages people to get into an open mindset, like that example specifically, is we were in a group, right? Group of people. So most cases, man, we just worry about what other people think. So we were worried about being judged for, maybe we're playing the wrong song. I could see that some people were like, I don't want to play this because no one's going to cheer me on. But
that's one of the biggest fears that there is, the fear of criticism.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of what I was talking about in terms of embracing change. You have to not worry about that, because, like, I don't know, how else will you really figure out or learn whether this is a good thing or a bad thing unless you try it. So I think that was a perfect example. It was a great game. We ended up loving it. Everybody was hyped. Everybody got an opportunity to play their song, and you know, it just goes to show that what can happen when you open your mind, and especially when you're in a good environment. So
sick. Okay, so let's get into some tips on an open mindset.
Okay.
So tip number one is to say yes. So whenever, like, I know I've also had a tip that's to say no.
Yeah.
But now
different circumstances.
Yeah, different circumstances. Now you have to say yes. So basically, whenever you have the opportunity to do something you haven't done before, try something new, go to somewhere you haven't been before, you can always go with that thought that's in the back of your mind being like, I'm not gonna like it, or something bad might happen. But you just have to say yes.
Yeah.
Go try it. No matter what, you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that good, you're gonna learn it. You're gonna be like, hey,
exactly.
I don't like that. I've done that before. But you really need to just start saying yes to different opportunities.
I like that a lot. And if for any of you guys out there, for a reference point, there's these guys on YouTube. I think they're called the Yes Theory. Mm-hmm. They've done work with Will Smith too, but they're the yes men, #1 yes men. So look them up on YouTube if you guys need a little inspiration or motivation.
Yeah, shout outs to Yes Theory.
Yeah. All right. So my tip is, no matter what you do, there will always be an opportunity to get better. Basically, you can never do your best, but you can always be your best at a certain time. And that just gives you room to always have that open mindset. So no matter what you're thinking, you'll always have that space for you to just get better and better and better. So that's, I think, a tip that everyone can practice no matter what situation you're in. But it just gives you a chance to keep growing, and that way, you know, you develop that open mindset from a fixed mindset.
Amazing. Okay, so tip number 3, try a ting Tuesday. Okay,
it's a big one.
So for anybody that doesn't know what try a ting Tuesday is, I think we made this up probably a long time ago. This is like over 5 years ago. But anyways, this is a day that you can choose to get out of your comfort zone. This because it's hard to just be like, oh, every single day I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But if you choose Tuesday and you say, all right, every Tuesday I'm gonna try a thing, and you don't have to make it something crazy like I'm gonna jump out of a plane, or I'm gonna learn how to play a new song on the piano. Like, you can just be like, I'm gonna walk home a different way.
Yeah,
that's something new. That's a different experience.
Yeah, you
can listen to a different type of music. There's lots of different easy things that you can do to try a thing. But if that opportunity ever comes and it's Tuesday, all you gotta do is think to yourself, man, it's try a thing Tuesday. I gotta try something.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone. And it's a great way to start, just doing it one day out of the week, because like you said, not everybody, it's hard, and you got to gradually get into it. You got to gradually open your mindset. You can't just go from 0 to 100. It's the same as any other habit that we've talked about, or any other sort of way to improve your life works. It's one small action at a time. So same way with opening your mindset. Just try one thing new every day, every Tuesday, to get you out of that comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. One thing's gonna lead to another.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, it's all about just having an open mindset, getting out of your comfort zone, doing things you don't normally do, and that's going to lead you to places that you never even thought that you could be. Mm-hmm. So continual growth is a movement that creates happiness through growth. So by helping others grow, it helps us grow. It helps you grow. Everybody's growing.
Yep.
So tell a friend about the podcast. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a review and give us a rating. You know, we love them 5 stars. So that's what's going to help us get more traction, and it's going to help us grow. And the last thing is to follow us on Instagram at Continual Growth. And if you have any questions, slide in the DM, because we've got answers. We love to help. That's what Continual Growth is all about. And until next week, kill every day and own your fucking life. Bless up!